I'm almost there. Try to save some bandwidth here. And pulling up your screen now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in your terminal, can you close it and then reopen a new terminal just in case? Okay, and then type in, I'm not familiar with PowerShell too much. Uh, can you open one and then do a git bash or something like in the drop down plus? Yeah, do a git bash. Yeah, just to make it more. Okay, and then if you do a git status, Django with containers. Okay, and then go to the source code on the, yeah. Okay, can you cd into Django with containers? Ah, can you do code space dot? Mm-hmm. And then did it open up another? Okay, and then does that one, if you can share that one, and does that one work? Yeah, share the new one, or you can, if you can, or if you don't want to, you can just quickly test and see if you see those changes on that Git menu. In okay, so okay, so no need to switch then. So it fixed your problem, right? Kind of. All right, so let's just recap what happened then. If you in the terminal, if you do ls-la, the one you're sharing is fine. The old one is fine. Yeah, ls space dash la. Uh, yeah, so ls lists everything, and then the l is make it, in a long list form, and a means list everything. In case anyone's curious. So in this folder, there's a .git folder, right? In this Django with containers, there's a if you scroll up, there's a .git subfolder, right? That blue one right there. Yeah. So that is representing one Git repository. And then if you cd up a level, so cd space dot dot. Mhm. So now you're in the parent folder, which is the update existing Django application exercise. And if you do a ls space dash la again, you'll see another .git. So you have kind of nested repositories. I mean, normally they're called Git submodules, but the way it's set up here is they're just completely different um, repositories. So that might be why you're experiencing those issues, right? Because you make the change, and then the ch the child repository, the Django with containers folder, that's where those changes are getting captured. And then the parent one, the update existing Django application exercise, that's another repository, but anything in the children repositories, it just doesn't track. Did that make sense at all? That was a lot. The code dot opened up into the child repository. So let's do another example. Another thing you can check here on the terminal. Do git space status. So this is what the top one is tracking, and it's just tracking everything in the Django folder, right? Or it's trying to add all that, but it might not be properly set up. So now if you do cd into the child folder, the Django with containers, and then now you do git status. So this is another repository, and it's tracking things more in line with what you think. And when we did code space dot, we opened a new VS Code at the child level, at the Django with containers level. And you can do it from the command line, from VS Code too. So if you close the other window, the one that popped up, and then if you go to File and Open Folder, and then you navigate to the Django with containers folder. Is there a dialog that popped up? It didn't. It's not. Okay, it's not showing up on the screen share, so I'll leave it to you to navigate there, and then oh yeah, select the Django with containers and then open it, and then it should open up the VS Code in the proper location, and your Git menu should work. Yeah, yeah, that's the same thing as the code space dot. The dot is just a current directory. If you wanted, you could have been on the parent directory, like update existing Django application, and you could have typed code space Django with containers, and that would have done the same thing. Yeah, it's just knowing where your paths are, and depending on how you want to submit, you might, yeah, I would work with the child repository and not deal with the parent. And you can just delete the .git folder on the parent, and then that will kind of avoid you from having confusion in the future if you want. Um, but it depends on how you want to submit, like which folder you want to be kind of like submitting to your GitHub. Uh, yeah, you're not creating one from scratch. You're forking one, which does create a new repository, but you're not. But there should be code in it. So if you want to take a look, we can take a look at your GitHub and see if you forked it properly. Yeah, if you want to go through it, we can go through it. Yeah, and then yeah. Oh, so when you say this and there, I can't see your cursor. I only see. Hmm. I think so. If there's nothing in there, um, yeah, that one seemed a little weird. If you're still brand new, we can start from the beginning and then show you what I intended. If you haven't, if all of this can be deleted, we can start from scratch and just go through forking and then cloning if you have time and if you want to. You might not even need to delete it actually. But, so I was just gonna tell you so that you can just have it on your thing. So then you'll be done and you can move on instead of kind of like replicating what I just did. Uh, so if you go to the Django with containers, the EE491 one. Sorry, I think you might have to reshare your screen. Like I don't see your cursor moving at all. It's still stuck on the GitHub page of repositories. I don't know if it's like my end. Mm, okay, thanks. No, you know, okay, I see it. So that's okay. So you're logged in as your account, right? And then you're at this repository. So essentially, forking is doing what you said, is creating a new repository and then kind of like copying the code over, but forking just is more automated and less error prone. And additionally, it copies over the history, right? So you see how there's 51 commits? If you were to do it the manual way, you would start from commit number one, right? And you would lose that history, and which might not be important, but there is that distinction, yeah. All right, so yeah, you click the fork button, and then oh, so you already have a fork. Is your username with containers. So you must have done that once already. So let's just go there. So pretend you clicked it, and then you came here. So you've yeah. So you see how on the top left it says forked from. So you yeah. So this one has a connection to the other one. So that's how you and it has the 51 commits. So I'm guessing you didn't do anything here, which is good. So you press the button, you created this under your username, so you should have full permission. And now you can click the green button code and then copy that URL. And then you've done git clone before, so whatever, yeah, try git clone with that URL, and then that's kind of your starting point. You can clone wherever you want, wherever you've been putting your project repositories. Yeah, if yeah, in case Keith is interested, and then whoever might be watching the video might be interested. Sure. Yep. I see test. No, you wouldn't initialize. Yeah, because initializing is you're creating that .git folder under test. So you're creating a brand new repository on your local machine. What we want to do is kind of pull down what's already on your GitHub onto your local machine. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, all good. Okay, so yeah, however you've done git clone before. Yep, it has your username, so you should have full permission. And now you got a CD into it, yeah, because it's a subfolder. You would do the file open folder from VS Code. Yeah, once you open the VS Code um, in the proper folder, yeah. And even this one, it might still work because you don't have a .git in the test2 folder, so it still might work. Yeah, yeah. The when you had the when you did the git initialize on a parent folder and you open VS Code to the parent folder, that's where VS Code ended up hiding it from you, or even Git, even command line Git would have hid it from you. Awesome. Yeah, and yeah. Hopefully, running through what I intended kind of gives you an idea of you know, the different things you can do with Git and the intent there. Awesome. Yeah, you don't always want to do that. Um, because we, oh, oh, so this is just a quick point on that. Because we forked it, it created a new repository on GitHub. So something's already existing, right, on GitHub. So if you were to kind of create a new one, it's a blank one. It's not the forked one. So the easiest is just to clone what you created on GitHub down onto your computer. That would be the easy. Um, uh, you can start from scratch either on GitHub and clone, or you can initialize it locally and then push up. So those two ways both work for starting from scratch. And then for yeah, yeah. So the only time is when forking happens. Then you can only really fork it and then clone it. You can't go the opposite way. Yeah. Hope that makes sense. Okay. It's tricky. Cool. Sorry, go ahead. Okay. No, so I'm guessing you created a new one locally and just copied the files over. Oh, if you want, we can fix that if you have time. Okay, okay. Maybe I'll share mine then. Reggie, are you good? Can we cut over to keep staying here? All right. So I'm gonna share mine, and then this is recorded, so hopefully you can replicate it when you get back to your computer if I go too fast. Um, how do I pop this back in? I might drop for a little bit. Oh, oh no, that worked. Okay, so I'm sure. Okay, so you have VS Code. All right, let me share the screen now. Okay, can you see my screen with the VS Code? Okay, so you didn't fork it. You created a new one. Oh, okay. Got it. Gotcha. Okay, so I guess I can do something similar. Uh, oh, Leslie, can I use your folder as an example? Because I have yours, I think. Would that be okay? Uh, this, and then would it be okay if I just kind of work in here? Okay. All right, so this is yours, and let's get fetch origin. Okay. I didn't pull the latest. So yeah, now it's up to date, kind of. So this is the one you cloned. Okay, so there's no .kit folder. Okay, so that sounded like a very painful process. Did you manually upload all these files and folders? Okay, okay. Um, so it sounds like their UI made it easy for you. Their okay. So I'm just gonna. So that's fine. So now you have it up. I can't show you how I would do it if you're interested. But if you've done it that way, then so be it. It's up there, so it's okay. But if you're curious if about how another way of doing it, um, then I can show you that. Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go GitHub kmaki494. Uh, uh, Okay. So I think this is you, and this one was uploaded manually. And so I'm gonna, okay. So I'm gonna do this basically the same thing you did, but without using the web interface. Because sometimes, uh, you know, you wanna don't rely on Git more than GitHub as much as possible. So here, this I'm guessing this is what you did. You cloned this one, right? So don't, I think I can, I don't know how to do it in VS Code. So I'm gonna do it from the command line. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's gonna screw something up. So I'm gonna go clone this, and then I'm gonna give it a different folder name so I don't screw up what you've done. So I'm gonna say Django with containers 2. And then we'll see this one, right? And then this is gonna have the same problem that Reggie encountered, because in this one, oops, wrong one. There's also a .git folder. So if you, I think so. That's my hypothesis. Uh, so just to test it out, I think we're gonna do a new file here, and then the source code still doesn't work, doesn't capture it. So we're gonna remove rf.git, and it still doesn't work. Oh, okay. Let's do that again. I have to commit it first. Okay. Oops. I did it yours one, but so I'm gonna delete mine's one and then bring yours back. Sorry. Which, as long as I don't push, you're still safe. Git status. So I'm gonna git restore everything really. Git restore. Okay, so yours is back, and I'm gonna start over and clone into Django's 2. I'm gonna try add it. Here, yeah, okay. Uh, yeah, I think I gotta remove that Git folder first. So I'm gonna remove Django 2.git folder, and I would think it'll start showing up, but I'm not sure why it's not. So here it should add properly. You know, I think it might be a VS Code thing. Let me unstage it. Hmm? Okay, I think it's because this is stale. So I'm gonna close it and reopen. I think because it's so much, maybe it's crapping out. Okay, yeah. So I think VS Code just got stale. So to recap, there is no more. Once you remove that .git folder, it doesn't think that you're gonna manage a um, a submodule. So then you can then it just treats it as normal files. Once you don't have the .git folder, and I can go through that if you want, but I think you pretty much understand the gist of it. I think so. Yeah, and then you definitely in the command line it behaves normally, but I think VS Code you might have to. I think it gets stale sometimes, and you gotta close it and reopen it for VS Code to refresh. Uh, yeah, and then yep, I think you got it. It's just that .git folder. It's a folder, yeah, not a file. So it's the same as this .git, so you can actually go into it and like see everything. Okay, yeah. Uh, yeah, if you want, but it's not worth it because you have it done. I would do it on like you can also like how I did. You can git clone your EE491F into a test, and then maybe play around in there just to convince yourself. Then you don't worry about screwing up your normal one repository. It could yeah, you could get into some dicey situations, and I don't want you to like lose your actual work since you sound like you did complete it already. Cool, yeah. Um, my pleasure. I'm glad you guys are asking these things, and yeah, I hope that works. And let me know. Um, and yeah, if there's nothing else, then I'm good here. Yep, no worries. My pleasure. Have a good evening, folks.